Hello and welcome to the First Listen Guy channel. I'm the First Listen Guy, and today we have another Sleep Token midweek interlude reaction. Now, I had a lot of requests in the comments about this particular song, and it nicely falls as well in between This Place Will Become Your Tomb and Take Me Back to Eden, because I believe this song was released on February the 3rd, 2022, which was exactly in between those two albums. So, of course, it is It Really You, the Sleep Token take on Loathe's song. So, what I'm going to do today is listen to the original and then listen to Sleep Token's take on it. All right, first listen. Is It Really You by Loathe. Now, before we get into it, I've got the lyrics down to my right here. I haven't actually heard of any of Loath's music at all before, so I don't really know what to expect. But I do know that they spent a lot of time with Sleep Token, I think, at the early stages. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but did they go on tour? Were they performing at some stage together on the tours and things? So, yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what the kind of synergy, if there is any, between the two, because I believe that Sleep Token had kind of got a little bit of inspiration or some kind of relationship anyway going on between the two bands. Okay. It's very atmospheric, isn't it? Oh, that's nice. Oh, oh. Oh, oh, that's beautiful. Oh. Let's just stop it there just for 2 seconds. Beautiful song, beautiful. And I guess with Loathe, you can see the similarities in the kind of style of the atmosphere that is being created here. And it's not anything necessarily to do with the sounds of the music or the instruments. It's actually the emotion behind it. Almost something you can't generally actually put your finger on it, but you know it's there, which is really strange thing. But there is definitely similarities here. Um, And let's just kind of, I'm not going to break it down too much because I want to kind of do that with the sleep token version. But face away, deal with the pain your own way. How could they deal with the pain? I know it was mine too. Um, Deal with the pain your own way. So, talking about someone else that is either going through a similar situation and feeling similar struggles and pains, you deal with it how you deal with it, and I'll deal with it how I would deal with it. But how could they deal with the pain? They being just other people, I would imagine people that are close to them, maybe, but how could they deal with the pain because they're not going through it, right? But I know because it's my pain too. That's what I'm kind of getting from there. And is it really, and you, is it really you? Interesting. Let's search the skies for a while. You and I collide like two stars for a while. You and I. I mean, wow. And colliding as well, when something collides, it's normally colliding at force, right? Or they're on a course that they can't disrupt, they can't avert from, and they are on a collision course, which has been mentioned quite a few times within Sleep Token's songs. So that's quite interesting. Um, and I'm digging the kind of groove as well. It's almost got quite a swingy feel to this particular song. Let's see how it develops. It's quite swingy. Oh, oh, that's nice snare work. Nice. Ebb and flow. Oh, lovely. I'm such an idiot. I've literally just seen there's lyrics on the screen here. Oh my God, I've been looking at my phone. That's hilarious. Crushed by silent snow, not the first I know. Caught in ebb and flow, I'm bleeding out. Oh, you know. I kind of get the feeling with this song that there are two people here, in a relationship, or they certainly know each other, and they are going through similar pains, similar struggles, but they're dealing it in their own way. So there is a connection there between the two because they are both going through something similar, and yet they are dealing with this separately. But then there is a moment in between where it's like, well, let's search the sky for a while, you and I, collide like two stars for a while, you and I. And for a while is such a strange kind of, I guess, sentence to use because it means that it's only going to happen for a specific amount of time. It's not like let's spend the rest of our lives doing this, or, it is for a while. So there is a limit to this. So it's almost like let's break away from the pain, the trauma. Let's collide together. Let's live in this little bubble for a while so that we can just forget everything, enjoy the moment. But the sad thing is that's going to come to an end. And then crushed by silent snow, not the first I know. Caught in ebb and flow, I'm bleeding out, oh, you know. I mean, that whole caught in the ebb and flow got me straight away because it just reminds me of the ocean, water, the sea. Do you know what I mean? The ebb and flow, the waves. I'm bleeding out. Oh, you know. So when you're bleeding out, you're you're tired, you're exhausted, you're drained, or you're being drained. And he's saying, "Oh, you know," as in you're experiencing the same thing here. And then it goes back to let's search the sky for a while. You and I collide like I love that collide like two stars for a while. So yeah, it sounds like there is a relationship here that is painful, and whether or not they're causing each other pain or they are going through the separate pains and dealing with it separately, I'm not too sure. But I'm really now interested to know what Vessel does with this. But let's finish this song off first. Let's just go back and hear that. Gorgeous song. That visual's interesting as well. The colliding of stars here as they touch, but it's not a full-on grasp, is it? Ooh. There was like a rewind there. C'est intéressant. Very interesting. Is it really you? It's an interesting title for a song. And I'm trying to work out after that first listen what that means. Because is it really you? Are you being yourself? Or is it really you within this relationship? Or are you putting on a mask, a persona? Am I seeing, am I getting, am I feeling, am I loving the true person here? I don't know. It's just out of if you think out of all the songs that Vessel could have chosen to do a cover on, and I think back to the likes of Hey Ya and all the other ones as well, there's a lot of symbolization within this song that transfers over to Sleep Token. So let's listen to their version. All right, first listen of Loathe and Sleep Token. Is it really you? Let's see what the difference is. Of course, it's piano. This is the man only has to play a few keys, and I'm already lost to it. I just don't understand what he does. He there must be some kind of like, I don't know, sound in the background, like some white noise that we just don't hear that just hypnotizes us. Oh God. And there's a kind of eerie note. I could literally just pick it up in the background there, but there's something, an eeriness, this atmospheric that just creates a bit of texture, a bit of longing almost. It's just strange. I bet he composed this version himself as well, in terms of the on the piano. It's like velvet.
Deal with the pain your own way. How could they deal with the pain?
God.
It was mine to.
How does this man do it? It already sounds like his own version, for starters. I've already, no disrespect to Loathe, because I thought that was a beautiful song. I've already forgotten about that. The texture that he brings with the backing vocals as well, and the over sort of laying of sounds of voices. I mean, he does it all the way through Sundowning, even before that with the EPs actually. Pretty much every song, unless it's really stripped back, there is an overlay of either ethereal voices in the background or eeriness, just creating texture, layers, atmosphere. And as soon as he does it here, even if it's just a piano with a little bit of whatever it is in the background there, it's so rich, it's so smooth, it's so comforting, and yet what he's talking about is extremely sad. And there is always that kind of juxtaposition there with Sleep Token where you could be bopping along to a wicked groovy tune, and yet the things that he's singing and talking about are just heart wrenching. And I genuinely don't know another artist or a band that can do that. Fun enough, other than the ones really that he's highlighted with Hey Ya and the Whitney Houston song, I Want to Dance with Somebody, because again, they are on the surface, externally, extremely catchy tunes. But when you deep them, they are heartbreaking. And that's, yeah, I mean, he's a wizard. He's an absolute musical wizard. There's no other word that describes what he does and what he can do. Sorry, I'm going off on tangent. But anyway, what's really interesting is also the way that he says the words and the lyrics take on a completely different meaning. Because with Loathe, again, I don't want to belittle them because I thought it was a beautiful song, but it was very two-dimensional, right? And on the surface, again, it's about two people talking about their pain, their struggles separately, and then coming together at once. But here, I mean, face away. So in Loathe, I kind of just got that as, look the other way, you deal with your own pain, I'll deal with mine type thing. But here, when you're kind of talking about Sleep Token, there is this duality that Vessel brings to his music of surface level, literal relationship between two people, face away, right? But because of the lens as well that I've been using, and my brain is almost so trained to this Jungian lens now, face away is almost like him looking at himself in the mirror, telling himself to look away, turn the other way, turn the cheek. Uh, and whether that is the conscious talking to the unconscious or the unconscious talking to the conscious, the ego talking to the persona, persona talking to the ego, I don't know. But it's saying, face away. It's not confrontation, it's not healing, it's just avoidance. And then deal with the pain your own way. And again, if it's a relationship, he's not saying let me fix you or you fix me. He's saying deal with it on your own in your own way. Um, and and I think that's because as human beings, we all deal with things our own way in different ways. We use mechanisms that only work for ourselves and not other people. Um, and that goes back to, was it High Water, where he was talking about, I understand, or was it Missing Limbs? I don't know. Correct me in the comments. But he was saying that I understand that you have your own burdens, but you will never bear the weight of two. And it's kind of like this, I know that you have got your own pains and your struggles, right? And you deal with them the way that you deal with them, but I'm also dealing with burdens here. And I can't help but think when he's saying he was so specific about the burdens of two, I mean, who, sort of personalities or unconscious conscious in his psyche. I don't know. There's just too much of a coincidence there. Um, How could they deal with the pain? Again, I always struggle with when he mentions they because, and I guess that's why he does it because it's just so ambiguous, right? It could be about so many different things. They is in other people. They is in the other person in relationship. They is in the other part of your psyche. I mean, it's just so open to interpretation. I know it was mine too. And with this, it's not sympathy. It's more empathetic, right? Because he's saying that I empathize with you because I'm living this through this pain as well. So the striking thing here is that there is such a connection between these two people or two parts of his psyche, and yet there is still a distance between them. And then he says, and you, is it really you? Now, if you're taking vessel, right, and you are standing in front of that mirror talking to yourself, saying, and you, is it really you? Am I still the same person here? Has trauma changed me? Has pain changed me? Or is it really you talking to the unconscious? Is it time for this integration to start? Has this moment finally happened? Or is it really you again with the other person in the relationship? And you, is it really you? This time in this relationship, are you actually showing me your true colors? The actual human being behind this fascination, obsession that he's created. Are you finally laying bare to me your true feelings towards me or your true being? Or again, the anema projection breaking down. Is it really you? He's almost asking himself, am I seeing the person now in front of me for the first time? Am I starting to integrate that anema projection? Am I really seeing this person for who they really are? I don't know. There's just so many layers and it's fascinating. And please don't ever think that I'm trying to push my theories onto any of you out there. The brilliant thing about Sleep Token is this is all open to interpretation. And this is just one of the things that I've fallen into, but I do see so many similarities and I actually think they're all connected. And I think connection plays such a huge part in this whole um, journey so far, and it's something that I'm going to discuss in a little bit more detail on Sleep Token Sunday because I think there is a little bit more to be said about the kind of spider meaning behind that because it actually runs through Sleep Token a lot more than I think, and I don't mean literally as in a spider. I'm talking about connections. I'm talking about a web of connections, and you've seen these webs in the callbacks that we are starting to discover. But anyway, um, so that's kind of where we got to at the moment. Let's just continue.
It was mine too. And you, is it really you? Let's search the skies for a while, you and I, 'cause I like to stars for a while, you and I, crushed by.
So again, let's just go back to the chorus here because it is just beautiful. So let's search the skies for a while, you and I. And he's talking about transcending again. It's almost actually, there's a lot of connections with telomeres here in terms of this is all very sort of cosmical, isn't it? It's the sky, the stars. There was a lot of that symbology within telomeres. Um, and two beings or two things coming together, colliding on a crashing course. Again, a lyric from Sleep Token where two people can't avoid each other. It's like it's fate, right, drawing them together. But again, it's that kind of phrasing of for a while. It is not infinite. It is just for a period of time. Um, and and when you talk about the skies, it's very much the opposite of the ocean, right? The depth, the unconscious, you're sinking into it. With the skies, you're transcending. It's almost like, you when you look up to the skies, you are hopeful, right? Or you're praying for something to happen, something to help, for guidance or whatever. And that's kind of almost what I'm getting from this phrasing here is they are in the skies, they are hopeful, they are um there's a longing, I guess, for each other. Um, you and I, again, we can talk all day long about who the you and the I is. You know, is he going to another realm within his sleep, for example, where the conscious is meeting the unconscious? And they are again colliding like two stars for a while, so they actually come together. And you can also say that when they collide, again, that is the start of individuation. If you're looking through, through a Jungian lens, when the ego and when the conscious and the unconscious meet, it's the start of individuation. So again, that's fascinating. Right, let's carry on. I mean, it sounds like a totally different song. That's the thing I can't get my head around here.
You and I, crushed by silent snow,
Hmm.
not the first I know,
Hmm.
caught in ebb and flow. I'm bleeding out, now you know.
God. Wow.
Let's search the skies for a while. You and I, through light like two stars for a while. You and I.
How does he do this? There's just so much longing when he does this. It's like I can't explain to you, but it makes you feel like he's searching. Very, very sleep tokeny at the ending there, just with the sort of sound effects and things. But let's just go back. So, crushed by silent snow. Crushed by silent snow. I mean, so when snow falls, it's silent, right? You don't hear it. But whatever this thing it is attacking him or it is getting a hold of him silently, right? It's crushing him. So, whatever the burden is, or trauma or emotion, it's weighing heavy on him and it's doing it silently. Again, it's going back to, was it Fall for Me? The Screaming Silence. There's a lot of stuff, again, symbology that represents all of this internal anguish, pain, burden, torture that no one else can see externally, but he's feeling it within. And what's really being emphasized with this song, and I think I can kind of start to see this translating in other songs, is if it is a physical relationship, this other person that he has been sort of projecting this anemia on, it also has their own pains, anguish, and torment. And is that what is driving them? In actual fact, if you go back to Jaws as well, there's a lot of that they're both going through sort of, uh, I would say, pain and circling each other almost, like prey left unattended. It's almost that imagery of him being in the middle of the ocean and there's just sharks circling him, and he can't necessarily see them, but he knows at any moment they could come and strike. And that's kind of what I'm getting within the relationship between these two people, if you're seeing it through a human lens, as it were, is that they are both using each other almost because they give each other love in moments, in peaks. And when they do come together, it's like two stars colliding, right? It is enormous, this feeling. But one, it never lasts forever. And two, you could potentially say that it's actually doing more harm than good because they both got their own issues, their own traumas, their own pain that they're dealing with separately. And they think by coming together, by having these intimate moments, that actually that's going to solve them, make them feel better. But it only does, it's fleeting, right? But then what I always feel like is that the vessel maybe is slightly more infatuated by the other person and the other person is infatuated by him. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to kind of, there's definitely a duality here. And I think these songs are explaining a human relationship and also a psychological battle as well. I mean, Bloodsport. Right. Sorry. I'm going on a tangent again. I'm in a Sleep Token Sunday frame of mind. I've got to save my energy for Sunday. Um, Caught in ebb and flow. I mean, it brings me back to this place will become your tomb. The ebbing and the flowing of the waves, the tides, um, washing away, um, or laying bare, stripping down, all that type of thing. Drag me under, etc., etc. I'm bleeding out now, And the thing is, I'm bleeding out now. So he's not dead. He's not saying, I'm finished, or I have no blood left, or I'm empty. He's being drained. And whatever is draining him, they know that he's being drained. So again, if you're talking about from a human relationship, they know that he is bleeding, that he is being drained, and it's never a good sign, right? Because there's never a positive outcome that will come out of that. But also, you could say that psychologically now, I'm bleeding out now. So the ego is being drained, it's being stripped away. And because you're part of me, the unconscious, and that that's happening. So again, another duality. Um, and then it goes back to, I believe, the chorus. So listen, what a beautiful song, but it just sounds so different. And Vessel is a master at covering songs and making them sound like he's written them. And I can clearly see why he chose this particular song, because there are a lot of connections to particularly what he's been talking about in This Place Will Become Your Tomb. And it's stunning. It's stunning. So that was Is It Really You? Loathe and Sleep Token version. That was my first listen, my first reaction of that song. And I can't wait to see you all on Sleep Token Sunday. I'll love you and leave you. I'm the first listener, taking it all in. Let the record play, let the journey